Hi everyone and welcome back to Mindfulness with Alison. So today I wanted to go through another one of my little mantras that I live by. So if you have visited my website, which is AlisonCanavan.com, please do. You will see that I have the 5 A's, which is, I suppose I wanted to come up with 5 A's to live by. What were the most important things for me? And this took us months and months when we were doing it, but I really feel like we hit the nail on the head when we did. So the 5 A's, and obviously we were pulling the letter A from my name, Alison, are awareness, acceptance, accessibility, attitude, and alignment. So awareness, acceptance, accessibility, attitude, and alignment. So the first thing, like I said before, if you want to change your life and you want to live better and you want to feel better, and you know, most of us do, because there's, let's face it, always room for improvement. No matter who you are or what you do, there's always room for improvement. So that's why we work on ourselves every day. That's why we try and be better than we were yesterday, today. So we don't compare, just be you. I always say, you know, don't try and be someone else. Be the best version of yourself. That's really the best advice you can be given. And coming from my background in the fashion industry, where you're always being compared to other people, everything is based on your external looks. Nothing is based on your internal world, you know? Your voice doesn't really matter. This was a really difficult aspect for me to kind of, to understand really, because I was taught from such a young age that my worth was what I did for a living, what I had, who I dated, what billboard I was on, and all of those type of things. But really, if you're not comfortable in your inside world, well then you can't be happy in your outside world either. So if you just forget about trying to fix everything outside and work on in here first, it's the best place to start. But how do we do that? So we go to the first A, which is awareness. Being aware of yourself in this present moment, which is truly the only place that you can start from. So awareness is the agent for change, okay? Then we're going to come to acceptance. Accepting exactly where you are in this moment. It's really, really important. Very often we want to be further along the path than we were. I'm kind of guilty of this, I have to admit. Like, we want to be running before we can walk, and it's a human thing. We live in a world of instant gratification where we're kind of taught that we can have things quicker than we do. So even years ago, I remember thinking that I should be doing more talks, I should be giving workshops. And now when I look back, I'm like, actually, I am exactly where I'm meant to be. And back then, I was exactly where I was meant to be. And I wasn't able for what I thought I was able for back then. So trust. Trust is a big thing. Trust and accept that you're exactly where you need to be. Accessibility. This is really, really important. There are so many different practices out there which are completely inaccessible for most people. So having accessible practices like gratitude, mindfulness, meditation, good food, movement, how we speak to ourselves, that we can show up and do every day is really important. Your attitude, okay. So important. Can we have a moment for our attitude? How you show up every day, even during the bad times, is really important. Your attitude to life. How many of us have been around someone who we think has everything and they have a really shitty attitude, okay? So once I realized that I had to take personal responsibility for where I was in my life, and also take personal responsibility that where I was in my life was a result of the previous choices I had made. Now, as an addict, it's not a very nice place to be. Because your immediate reaction is what? You're going to blame me? You're going to blame me for where I am? And actually, yes, I am. Because as human beings, the one thing we always do is we place blame on the externals and we become a victim, and you know, it's always everybody else's fault and I didn't do anything wrong. So a huge part of my journey into recovery was accepting with grace where I was and using accessible practices, and then changing my attitude from a really shitty one to a better one, and accepting that, like, my life, how I live, and the choices are really up to me. And it's a really, listen, I get how difficult it is to be responsible for your choices, especially when you make a lot of really bad ones. and you have to take responsibility and change your attitude. But when you do, the world is your oyster. And of course, the last and most important point is alignment. So aligning with yourself, others, and the world around you is really, really important. And this starts, so we're going to go all the way back again with your daily practice of going within. So as we can see, we have awareness, acceptance, accessibility, attitude, and alignment. And if we go full circle, it all comes back around to our mindful practice. So becoming more mindful helps us to be aware. And then when we're going into alignment, we are in alignment because we're mindful of who we are, how we show up in the world, and the relationships around us. So the 5 A's are really important. So let's do a quick recap. Awareness, acceptance, accessibility, your attitude, and alignment. Thank you.